Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Uh-oh, he's back. He got to deal with his motherfucking ass now. Oh, God. Someone get him out of here. Someone get him out of here. Who even invited this piece of citrus? What the hell? What are we doing here? Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. For me, this is basically my Thursday. Yeah. Because tomorrow I took Friday off, so tomorrow's my Friday at work. Hello, Narissa, hello. Hi, Narissa. Texan, Nick, Knives, everybody who's lurking, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. You're so tired. Why are you tired, Texan? You should get some rest if you're tired. You should. Get a little bit of rest. Maybe leave a sun in the background. You don't have to, though, if you prefer the peace and quiet. You guys prefer sleeping with YouTube or streamers? Not tired enough to break the stream streak? Okay, I respect it. I know it was originally listed as Wendigoon Wednesday, but there are some YouTube videos that I want to watch. So it's just gonna be YouTube Wednesday. Oops, but I also will have some Wendigoon, so I'm not false advertising. Don't worry, I will have some Wendigoon. There's just another video I wanna throw in there. There's just another one I wanna throw in there, okay? I'll probably have to do fucking Wendigang because those videos are a little shorter. You like sleeping with something in the backgrounds, like a certain lemon. Also, Nervous, I was meaning to ask, was what I recorded for you, was that good enough? The little hydrate redeem, was that okay? I can redo it if you really want. I have 2 videos so far, but there are more that I have. One is an Ellie Productions, which is a NASCAR video, and then I have a Wendigang video, which is the massive heist you've never heard of. Love it. Poco too. Oh my god, everyone's here. Hi everyone. Hi. I'm in a really good mood. If you guys can't tell, I'm in a really good mood. I'm chilling. I don't know why. Nothing in particular happened. It's / shout out. Kill yourself. Oh, okay. It's / shout out. What the fuck? Thank you, Ganoobs. Gnobles. Yes. So, fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's no reason in particular. You love it, it's brilliant? Yes, I'm glad you do. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, there's nothing in particular that made me so chipper today. I'm just really in a good mood. I'm very chipper. I'm very eager, full of energy. Maybe it's because I had like 7 cups of coffee today, but you know, that's fine. That's okay. We ride with that. For the first time in a long time, I'm not yawning during stream. But we'll see how long that lasts, because at any point that could crash on me. 7 cups too many? No, it's never enough. Never enough, baby. Guys, what are we doing tomorrow? Oh yeah, tomorrow is my 1st anniversary. Tomorrow's my 1st anniversary. Tomorrow is a dark day in history. Where a year ago, some fucking lemon decided to start streaming, and now all of you guys are stuck here every fucking weekday aside from Monday and every Saturday. You don't even like coffee? I don't. That's the crazy thing. I like the caffeine it gives me. I just don't. Coffee at work is free. Energy drinks from 7-Eleven are not free. A year ago, this guy came to creation. It's true. Because of some motherfucker hitting the live button a year ago, you guys now have to fucking deal with this all the time. And that's something? Actually, it's a year and a day. Tomorrow it'll be a year. That's great. Fuck, that's so weird to think about. That this has only been a year. I don't know. I've grown so much. I used to be a little PNG. I used to be a little PNG that had 2 sets of ears. And now I'm this, you know? I used to be a little boy with a sweater vest. And now I'm like a little smug brat. But now, you know, I actually have like a little community. That's so crazy. That's so weird to me. Oh my god. Finish final project, subject production language. I'm typing up right now because I'm trying to do it, but I didn't. Oh no. Ratty bottom. What do you mean bottom? Fuck you mean bottom? 2 sets of ears but can't listen. Well, selective hearing. Fuck you mean bottom. Only thing bottom about me are these fucking loaded up buns. Alright. Excuse me. It's fine to do tomorrow. Oh, you got plenty of time, right? How about his production log? I mean production log. She produced another. Finally not bored now that Ready or Not has been fixed. Oh yes. Which means I now have to gather together a few of the community to play some Ready or Not, which includes Texan and maybe some others. Saying what I did for the oh yes. Dude, I remember having to do stuff where it's like I had to take on the director role in college. And it'd be like, how did you fix this? And I was like, I literally just was like, hey man, could you get a better shot with your camera? And he'd be like, oh, okay. And then I had to explain that professionally. It was silly. It was very silly. It's okay. Guys, I hope you're ready. Because this LE Productions video, it is about my favorite NASCAR driver. It's Tony Stewart. Oh my god. So if you guys don't like sports, first of all, cringe, bad take. If you don't like NASCAR, cringe, bad take. But you better fucking lock in because you're gonna fucking love Tony Stewart after this, okay? At least I would imagine you love Tony Stewart. Hydrate. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Vinny. I have a Coke Zero. I can hydrate with that, right? I'm about to sneeze. I got me into NASCAR. Good. The Tony Stewart? Yes! My favorite driver. The driver that made me love Conch Zero. No, not Conch Zero. It's Sprit Zero. Surely that was some good ASMR. Yeah. Tony Stewart, the my favorite NASCAR driver of all time. To this day, still love him. You said Coke. Did I say Coke? Am I a filthy liar? Am I a filthy cringe lord? What the fuck? I meant Sprite Zero, my bad. Sprit Zero. Sprit Zero. I apologize. I apologize for lying to your faces. Tasty. You guys, if you're not into racing, you should totally be into racing this weekend because Sunday is the greatest day in motorsports. Sorry, I'm just aggressive today. Daddy has had to stand up for herself many a time, kitten. Every time I see like daddy or kitten, I have to fucking read it in the e-boy voice. Not now, kitten. Daddy's about to fucking kill himself. Sunday is the greatest day in motorsports, if you guys don't know, which you should know because you're Len Meringue fans, and by default you have to be instilled with my knowledge of motorsports, and if you're not, I'm gonna teleport all of my knowledge into your brains right now. Sunday is the greatest day in motorsports, right? So at 9 a.m. I believe it is a Canadian Grand Prix for Formula 1, and then at 12 p.m. Eastern it's the Indy 500, and then at 6 p.m. it's the Coke 600 for NASCAR. So all day there is racing. Yes, it's beautiful. Not now, kitten. Daddy is trying to beat your cramps for 9 months. He returns. I love NASCAR. Lightning McQueen is my favorite driver. Jimmy Johnson fan. I can't do this Sunday because family friend is going to pay me to sit the ticket booth for his music festival. Pull up a totally legal way to watch it on your phone and then plug in so your phone does not die. But for right now, let me... Shut up, Ellie Productions. I'm not ready to switch to you yet. No, I am. All right. Shut up, stream cafe music too. So this is Smoke. This is my favorite NASCAR driver of all time, Tony Stewart. I have not watched this yet. I have been saving this specifically for stream. The pop-ups were way too much. I cannot watch sports in the total. Ad blocker, baby girl. Ad blocker, baby girl. Ad blocker. You can do it. I believe in you. Yeah. So this, I have not watched it yet. I am very excited to watch it. I've been saving this. I've been putting off. I've kept seeing this my recommended. And I have now, I was like, I need to make it to fucking YouTube night because I need to fucking watch this fucking video. I love it so much. I love Tony Stewart. He's my goat.
Oh, back straight away, pow, inside, outside wall.
And another big crash on the backstretch rim.
Then and right up in front of more traffic.
Oh.
Tony calls him another one. Nothing we did wrong. It's Tony being a typical Tony Stewart. He's selfish. You know what I mean?
That's my man.
Google Tony Stewart. You'll see all kinds of things he's done. Look it up on YouTube, everything else.
2002, he was the champion. 2005, he was the champion. This time, he's going to become a three-time.
That's my goat. That's my fucking goat, baby.
Everybody knows I know how to talk.
What the hell do you think I was mad about? I don't know, rocket scientist. Climb over this counter and come beat your ass.
Climb over this counter and come beat your ass.
For no reason. Something always happened that led to it.
I fucking love this man. He's a bad boy. Hell yeah.
Junior.
That one in front of me even remotely me. He's not gonna like the outcome. This one's for every one of those fans in the stands that pull for me every week and take all the bullshit.
Wait, I kinda, she's into the Indiana boy.
As you could
the Rushville Rocket.
Not much has been said about Tony Stewart that he hasn't already said himself. If I didn't know any better, I would say that this video doesn't even need narrating. He was my favorite driver growing up, so now
yeah, yeah.
5 minutes. Sorry.
I didn't know LA Productions was a NASCAR fan. Hell yeah, Anthony Wayne.
South of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, started racing go-karts at just 7 years old. He cut his teeth at the Bartholomew County Fairgrounds.
How did he do that?
Weekends turning laps. And
teeth can't be cut, can they?
Keep up the facilities. He even got sponsored by the local
Dairy Queen.
Struck a deal with the owner.
Oh, I've seen this photo plenty of times.
Race, he'd get a free ice cream. Anthony was never short on.
Listen, if I got a deal from a local fucking, you cut teeth for a living.
Moved up to 3/4 midgets, then raced full quarter midgets, sprint cars, and silver
Get to
crown
cut.
cars all at the same time. In
Sorry,
the beginning, he was a little rough around the edges, became notorious for smoking the tires on corner exit, but it wasn't
smoking
that way
the
for long.
tires,
In
huh?
1994, he won the USAC Midget Championship, and in 95 did something that no one had ever done before, winning all 3 USAC championships in the same season, the coveted Triple Crown.
If you don't know who Tony Stewart is, believe me, before this year is over, you will definitely know.
You will know who Tony Stewart is, baby.
Stewart as a premier
That's my man.
IndyCar. While it was still split between 2 separate series, he tested an IRL car for his childhood hero, AJ Foyt.
I have
so well that after the test, on the spot, AJ offered him a place on his team. Under most any other circumstance,
I have 6 Tony Stewart diecast cars on my shelf to my right.
I had to make a decision
And to the shelf and like in my kitchen. I have a bunch of Tony Stewart diecast. He's my boy.
He instead signed with Team Menard to drive their signature yellow highlighter, and as usual, he impressed. At the Walt Disney World Speedway in 1996, he led
Walt Disney World had a fucking speedway? What the fuck?
A couple months later, he would appear in his first Indianapolis 500, and initially qualified 3rd. Until about 2 hours later, when Arie Luyendyk's record-setting run got disqualified for his car being underweight. All of a sudden, the young buck was starting in 2nd.
Oh, no, wait. He didn't get disqualified. Someone else did. Yay!
A week and a half before the big day, the inconceivable happened.
Scott died at 12:50 p.m. at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis.
Now, all of a sudden, in place of his fallen teammate, Tony would inherit the pole position.
This
day, he admits that when the race
Excuse me, what? Hello? What the huh? You want to repeat that? What? Excuse me? Hold on. I'm not sure I'm following right now.
All of a sudden, the young buck was starting 500 and initially qualified third until about 2 hours later when Arie Luyendyk's record-setting run got disqualified for his car being underweight. All of a sudden, the young buck was starting in second behind his teammate Scott Brayton.
Scott Brayton. Mods, pull it up, Jamie. Scott Brayton? IndyCar? Scott Brayton was an American who competed in 14 lost his life in a crash. What the fuck? I never heard of that. What?
But then, a week and a half before the big day, the inconceivable happened.
Scott died at 12:50 p.m. at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis.
You can't just fucking drop a nuke like that!
His fallen teammate, Tony would inherit the pole position. And to this day, he admits that when the race rolled around, it was the most nervous he had ever been.
Let's go racing. Let's quit talking about this damn thing. I'm ready to go race.
Here he was, a rookie, on the stage he always dreamed of.
What the
but with
fuck?
what it took to get there, no one could stomach that. And unfortunately, after leading 44 laps, his car couldn't either.
Tuesday, Tony Stewart will be out.
He'd return in '97 to chase the Indy Championship.
What if I made a production schedule table instead of like, yeah, that would work.
Davey Hamilton. And he also returned to the Indianapolis 500. This time, however, Arie Luyendyk's time was allowed, as he would go on to win, while Stewart bent a suspension arm with just 2 laps remaining.
No.
He would again return to Indy in 1998 and take the lead on lap 21, only to blow a motor on lap 22.
Damn, he cannot win an Indy.
It's in fact Stewart. Stewart's engine let go.
Unbelievable.
That's 3 attempts at the greatest spectacle in racing, all gone up in smoke. And
Not the Minecraft
wasn't
fucking
much
creeper.
better, as Stewart was simply off the pace. Part of it was his new ride, taking both an ownership and driving role for the fledgling TriStar Motorsports. But
You had an
another part of it
ownership
was
role
his
in
other
Indy?
ride. And now we finally get to the reason why he turned down his hero all those years ago. By now we know that Tony Stewart is not a one-trick pony. And as much as his heart was set on driving IndyCar, he also had a chance to drive for the Reniers, longtime owners in NASCAR. They were willing to let Tony dip his toe into both pools, whereas AJ Foyt wasn't, which made the decision easy. In 1996, Stewart made his first starts in the NASCAR Busch Series and put up enough respectable results that in '97, during his
I knew he drove the 44. I had no idea he drove a 15.
Motorsports, co-owned by Cup Series driver Bobby Labonte.
Hi, Bobby.
When he wasn't crashing out entirely, Tony put up some decent results, especially for an open-wheel racer trading paint with the good old boys. And at season's end, Bobby sold the team over to his car owner in the Cup Series, Joe Gibbs. Under a new banner, but with the same car, once again alongside.
I didn't know this lore.
IndyCar,
This
Tony
is
Stewart
entirely
won
new to
over
me.
2/3 of the 1998 Busch Series, but the double duty didn't faze him. He recorded 5 top 5s and came just 1 corner away from his first NASCAR win at Rockingham, losing out on a buzzer beater pass by Matt Kenseth? Not sure who that is, but okay.
Yeah, never heard of that man.
New boss
Who the fuck is Matt Kenseth?
1999, Coach Gibbs expanded his Cup team from 1 car to 2, just so that Stewart could have a seat, driving the number 20 Home Depot Pontiac.
Gibbs only had 2
cars. At
cars.
least get a better paint scheme.
Hey!
In 2 years, going from an up-and-coming IndyCar star to a full-timer in the NASCAR Cup
Yeah,
Series,
look at this
Tony Stewart
man.
was about to do something he had never done: turn all of his attention toward 1 car. And thank goodness.
Oh
he
my
did,
God, that
because
20
he
is so
didn't just
beautiful.
fit in or impress. Oh no, this broken mold.
This
was a shock
motherfucker was here to
to the
win.
entire racing world.
And in his 25th NASCAR Winston Cup race, Tony Stewart wins at Richmond International Raceway. Tony Stewart off the corner, checkered flag
In the air, the inaugural Pennzoil 400 at Homestead goes to Tony.
It goes to Tony. 3 wins. First rookie to
2 years
win 3
removed from
races
the
in a
IndyCar title,
season.
Tony Stewart, with
I
fellow
love this
rookie
man.
crew chief Greg Zipadelli, put up what many consider
Greg
the
Zipadelli
greatest
was
rookie
back on.
season in NASCAR history, notching
Yeah.
3 victories and a 4th place points finish, the highest finish for a rook in over 3 decades. never had a driver transition from such a different
did,
discipline
yeah, I love you.
so fast and so well.
I'm glad you like
While
it.
fellow Hoosier Jeff Gordon might have
I'm glad
started
you like
the
it.
youth movement, Tony Stewart took it to new heights, opening the floodgates for all of the young.
Look at all this, look at all these young guns. Tony Stewart was the start of a generation, baby.
Was a NASCAR star, and his
Yeah, he
sophomore
was.
season only further cemented that, as he would double his win total from the previous year. While his now teammate Bobby Labonte brought home the first championship for Joe Gibbs Racing,
Beautiful.
Stewart scored his 6th win of the year, the most of anybody that season. Though his points performance dwindled, Tony had taken the question of a title run from never to if to win. The rest of the field couldn't hold off the hot shot forever, though that discussion took a bit of a hiatus in the following year's season, where Stewart suffered a gnarly flip on the backstretch that took him from
My
third to
God,
third
I can't
to
believe.
place in a
Thanks for
matter
the
of
kitten
seconds.
audio.
And
I'm
still,
keeping it
it
for
was only the
nefarious
second worst
things.
accident to happen that day.
When you're in the hospital,
We don't have to talk.
when do you find out that Dale Earnhardt Sr. is in an accident?
When they accidentally rolled me in the same room he was in. So they
What?
accidentally put me in there, and I was only in there a second, but I knew when I saw Dale it wasn't good.
What?
Shrouded by tragedy.
Fucking excuse me? What the fuck? They put Tony Stewart in fucking. What the fuck? What? They fucking did what? Hold on. What the fuck? They did what to you, Tony? What?
Accident. When you're in the hospital, when do you find out that Dale Earnhardt Sr. is in an accident?
When they accidentally rolled me in the same room he was in.
What the fuck? How do you make that mistake? How do you make that mistake? What? You fucking. What? Oh my God. What the fuck, dude? They rolled Tony Stewart into the same room as Dale Earnhardt after his fucking fatal crash. What the fuck? How do you fuck up like that as a hospital, man? What? I've never seen this interview. Are you kidding me? Oh my.
So they accidentally put me in there, and I was only in there a second, but I knew when I saw Dale it wasn't good.
Oh my
Shrouded by tragedy,
God.
the 01 season marched on, and while Jeff Gordon ran away to his 4th and final championship, Tony Stewart managed to finish the year in 2nd, hoping to take it one step further in 2002.
Benny, Greg Zipadelli asked Tony on the radio, is it the motor? Is it the motor? He says, yep, it broke. Wow.
Well, that's not going to cut it. A blown motor on the 2nd lap at Daytona relegated him
Well,
all
that
the way
won't help.
down to last place
Out
to
of a
start the
novel?
season.
It really
He
is.
would rebound with a top 5 at The Rock, a top
Okay.
5 in Vegas, and a win in Atlanta.
Hell
A week
yeah.
Later, he was in position to win Darlington too,
Uh.
until he got T-boned on the backstretch and
Ooh,
suffered a lower
fuck.
back injury. It was bad enough that questions were asked about him even starting in the next race. And although he would, a spin and stop right in front of the pack gave him the clairvoyance to hand the keys over to his relief driver. He was gritty, determined, stubborn, and the one thing he hated more than anything was being unable to finish a race. The whole reason he became an
I had
AJ
no
Foyt fan
idea.
was because he once saw him get out and work on his own car just to finish a race. There's honor in defeat, but not in giving up. So you could bet that once his back was healed and he could run all the
Jesus.
laps, Tony would not take them for granted. Through most of the year, the man on top was the silver bullet of Sterling Marlin, but some late season woes and a season-ending crash at Kansas opened the door for Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, and old Tone himself, who had stayed just consistent enough to keep himself in the hunt. Mark was a 20-year veteran still trying for his first Cup championship. Jimmy was a rookie taking his first ever swing at one. And Tony was somewhere in the middle, young enough to be hungry, but old enough to get it done. Whichever way the wind blew, it was bound to be a bona fide
Anyway,
dogfight.
the wind blow. What?
I have no idea.
Or maybe not. Now, I'm not saying that Tony was gifted this title, but his two contenders colliding on the parade lap at Talladega certainly
What the
helped.
fuck?
The
What?
runner-up
I did
finish
never
that
heard about
day gave
this.
him the points lead for the first time ever, one that he wouldn't give up for the rest of the year as he coasted to his first NASCAR championship.
Zipadelli making his way through the crowd.
Yeah,
The
that's
Cup
my
defense
man.
Fell somewhat flat the following year.
Well, that sucks.
Continued to falter in 04 as he could only pick up 2 wins apiece and finished 6th and 7th in the points respectively.
6-7.
When you set the bar so high so early on, especially under NASCAR's new point system, the chase. Year-long consistency was no longer enough.
Kill
And when
myself.
you had to catch fire at just the right time.
This is gonna be great when this video ages terribly in like 5 years.
By now, the man they call Smoke had
ASMR, your boyfriend trying to explain the romantic tragedy of Dale Earnhardt crash, but you're failing to hold a fart in. Yeah, so he just always really did well at Daytona, and you know when he finally conquered it, it seemed like oh, okay. Enjoy your lurk, Texan.
And blown motors, it now reflected his bombastic burnouts, something he hoped to have more of in 05. Though at first it seemed to be more of the same, as he left Pocono over a third of the way through the season, 10th in points. But then, in the remaining 22 races, he only finished 3 of them outside the top 10.
Hello.
By far, the best part of this streak was the summer stretch.
On a
where
5-stream
Tony won 5
watch
of the
streak,
7
appreciate
races
that.
from late June to mid-August, and each one had
Rookie
special
numbers.
significance. With wins at Sonoma and Watkins Glen, he swept both of the road course races. At Daytona
Road
and New
course, baby.
Hampshire, he took inspiration from Elio Castroneves and coined his iconic climbing of the catch fence.
Yes!
But no doubt, the most significant
Helio
win
Castroneves
back
was
home in Indiana,
way back
where
then?
After
Okay.
years of coming up short in the Indy 500, at least Stewart could finally kiss the bricks as a winner in Indianapolis.
Yeah!
So, I feel like crap right now. In 5 minutes, I'm going to feel really good.
With such crushing consistency, the Rushville Rocket rocketed all the way to the points lead just before the chase. And once again, he never looked back, as he proved just consistent enough to take home his 2nd Cup championship.
God, that
Being the
car
first
is
and only man
beautiful!
to this day to not win a single race during the chase, yet still take home the title. And even without those wins, this season would end up being Stewart's strongest statistically. After that much success, it'd be hard to ask for more,
17
though
top
I don't
fives.
think anyone expected the fall off of 06. Despite matching his win total, Stewart struggled enough in the early running that a year after winning it, he missed out on the chase entirely, becoming the first reigning champ to ever do so. And to add insult to injury,
We crunching
it was
work for
only
3 months
after the
straight. Can I
chase
get you
started
fucked
that
up?
he
You
finally
fucked up
turned
bad,
the
beef!
winning 3 of the last 8 races in the 2006 season.
Fucked up
He
bad.
was the first to go winless and win, then the first to win and still lose. I don't know, man. It's a weird system.
That's a big
Also had to
fucking
sit out
ass
yet
trophy.
again after getting injured in a crash at Charlotte, and we know how much Tony likes to do that.
I'll be honest, it's just been one of those weird years. Everybody keeps asking me, does it make you think about, running other things? But, I'm a race car driver. I want to race everything that I can whenever I can.
Throughout all of this,
Amen,
neglected to
brother.
Call attention to a simple fact: Tony Stewart has a temper. A
He
temper
does.
that made him break a journalist's tape recorder, that made him punch a photographer in the chest, that
I
made
didn't
him
know about
smack
that.
Brian Vickers on pit road while he was still wearing his helmet. Ouch.
Listen, Ryan Vickers was named many, many times in a certain document about a certain island. So, maybe that last one was justified.
And this is no secret either. Tony's temper had been put on full display many times before. I only bring it up now because in the coming years, that temper flared brighter than ever before. After a scrappy 2006 Bud shootout, Tony had this to say about the state of safety.
Wait,
We're
what?
going to kill somebody.
Tony, you gotta calm down. So funny enough, this is all in Minecraft and not at all in real life, because I don't want to be dealt with. Yeah, right. But Brian Vickers was married to somebody who was very close to the Funny Island man. So 99% of these billionaires. It wasn't anyone you'd expect from NASCAR. I watched a video on it recently. It wasn't Jeff Gordon. It wasn't Rick Hendrick. It wasn't Jimmy Johnson. Any of the big heavy hitters in NASCAR. Brian Vickers was married to a woman who was very close to the Funny Island man. And yeah, that's about all I'll say on that.
So, somebody else is going to die at Daytona or Talladega with what we're doing right here. So, I hope I'm not around when it happens.
A week later, in the Daytona 500, he proceeded to door Matt Kenseth at 180 miles per hour and send him spinning directly in the path of oncoming traffic.
For a guy that was talking about over-aggressive driving, I don't understand what his situation was there.
The two would tangle again in the All-Star race a couple months later, and though the media tried to egg it on, nothing much came out of this rivalry. Though if the masses wanted drama, all they'd have to do was wait a year. During Speed Weeks in 2007, there were just 2 cars head and shoulders above everybody else. The number 2 of Kurt Busch and the number 20 of T. Stizzle. In the Daytona 500,
Stizzle, baby.
the pair combined to lead 130 of the first 153 laps. But on lap 154, funny enough, right after this promo of him, Stewart got loose and collided with Busch, taking them both out and handing Smoke another last place finish in the 500. This, however, was just an appetizer, as the real fight kicked off in Dover.
As they're looking at the damage to Stewart's car, Kurt comes up to offer his opinion.
And guess what they got in the 2 car? Parked for the day.
After this, Stewart once again had an unbelievable summer stretch, winning 3 races in 4 weeks, including another Brickyard 400.
That was pretty great. That was
By
pretty
now,
great.
Tony and the 20 team had taken a noticeable step back.
Yeah.
And boy,
This
was
is when
that
I started
obvious
watching
in 2008.
NASCAR.
After
In 2000. Oh, hello, Kurt Busch again. I forgot I didn't like Kurt Busch for a little while because he was Tony Stewart's biggest rival. I started watching Tony Stewart, or I guess, but I started watching NASCAR in like 2007. 2007 was the first season I watched NASCAR, and it's kind of crazy. I missed Tony Stewart's prime, so to speak. So like getting to watch all of this, like the lows of his time in the 20 car is kind of crazy.
Opening the year by trading
Like like longtime NASCAR fans recognize Tony in the 20 Home Depot. I recognize him more in the 14 Office Depot.
with Kurt Busch,
But you'll get to
again
that.
on pit road, he was just
What's the fucking meme from Back to the Future where it's like it's like you didn't get that, but your kids are gonna love it. That's pretty much how I was.
half a lap away.
I would have had an obnoxious helmet if I did NASCAR. I'd be bedazzled with cat ears or something. Honestly, I would kind of want to be dripped out if I was in NASCAR.
From
Just
finally
show
winning
off.
the
Why not?
Daytona 500, only to block the wrong lane and give it to the Penske. You blew it! Bristol, Charlotte, Loudon, Richmond. He
Don't
seemed to
rem-
always be in position to win, yet something would always happen. to
Stop
take him out.
reminding me.
The only race that he won that season, he technically didn't, as he crossed the line in second and won on a technicality that most people, myself included, didn't agree with.
Where do you feel like you should be placed? Doing burnouts out there right now.
After 10 seasons, the dynamic duo of Smoke
Man.
and Zippy had finally run its course. A change of scenery was necessary, so on July 8th, after spending his whole career with Joe Gibbs, Tony would become a type of driver once thought to be
Same with
extinct.
wrestling. Only got into
In
it
2009,
with the
he would
games.
become an
Yeah.
owner driver.
No. I'm in a unit driver.
Okay, driver.
The other
owner.
hat. I'm still
Driver
driver
owner.
today.
Okay.
Ow! I fucking just
Something
slammed
else
my
I
hand.
neglected to talk about is Stewart's entrepreneurial side. Being a Cup Series champion in the 2000s yielded a lot of prize money, and Tony put those funds to use. Of course, it was only natural that he started a USAC team, and of course that
Show off! I'm a freaky ass driver.
2003 Triple Crown with driver JJ Yaley.
JJ
To this day, the
Yaley.
triple has only been accomplished twice, and wouldn't you know it, Stewart just so happened to play a part in both, first as a driver and then as an owner. He
Whoa,
also
whoa,
purchased
whoa.
the Eldora Speedway and developed it into the world's greatest dirt track, even hosting
True. I fucking love Eldora. I love
Tony's had a
Eldora
lot
so
of big
much.
business ventures, but all of them pale in comparison to Stewart Haas Racing, a co-ownership with manufacturing tycoon Gene Haas that wouldn't waste time in the lower divisions and go straight into the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yep.
Even with engine support from juggernaut Hendrick Motorsports, people were skeptical. Startups don't tend to fare too well in the fast-paced, cutthroat world of NASCAR, and Tony just left one of the best teams in racing just to drive for one. It was a monumental gamble, and one that would pay off handsomely.
Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart will win it.
The new Stewart Haas Racing hit the
Yeah,
ground
that's my
running.
boy.
The All-Star race.
Yeah, the first
They
season,
still
4
got
wins,
swept by bigger
baby.
Teams, but managed to exceed all expectations. And Tony proved that in the 21st century, you could still be a winner driving a car that you own. In his hero AJ Foyt's famed number 14, alongside, of all people, the man who beat him in the previous year's Daytona 500, SHR was the newest NASCAR powerhouse. Although
Hell
they
yeah.
did regress slightly in 2010.
Oh.
Perhaps fearing their potential, Hendrick gave them dud motors, but that's just a theory. What actually happened was they were still winning, just not as much as before. And Stewart running out of gas on the last lap of the first chase race definitely did.
That sucked.
These cars pitted on lap 208. One gets to do a burnout, the other coasts across the finish line.
2011 looked to be more of the same. Before the chase, Ryan Newman's win at New Hampshire was the only win the team had collected all year, as Stewart went totally winless in the first 26 races. And just a couple of weeks before the chase, while still contending for a spot, had this to say.
I'll be perfectly honest, at this point of the deal, if we're going to run this bad, we're wasting one of those top 12 spots right now.
Well, by the seat of his pants, he made the top 12 and the chase to boot. Yet odds makers, understandably, had him as a long shot at best. No one, not even Tony himself, thought they had a chance. But heading into the first chase race in Chicago,
I'm just going to tell you, 2011 was the greatest season of NASCAR of all time. No one can tell me otherwise.
There was a certain magic in the air.
There isn't anybody on this organization that's quit. Hope for the best here these last 10 weeks.
Tony Stewart, the fuel holds up. Tony Stewart opens the chase with his first win of the season. Boyer is questioning whether he's running out of fuel. Here comes Stewart.
Yeah, there it is. He's out.
Stewart to the lead. 2 wins in a row to start the chase. Tony Stewart wins at New Hampshire.
His first wins of the whole
Hey,
season,
guys,
back-to-back
1993.
victories to open up
Sorry,
the chase,
I'm not,
catapulted him straight.
I was still just a wee 50-year-old man back then. Sorry about that.
From 11th to the top of the board. Stewart had caught everyone sleeping. However, the following 4 races were fairly blasé, and he found himself
Blasé,
in 4th place
baby.
with 4 races remaining. As inconceivable as it was that he still had a shot to begin with, it seemed as though it could all be for naught. But a
Also, the
certain
94
magic
season I
returned
thought
to
was
fill the
better.
crisp October air in
Was it
Martinsville.
94 or was it 93?
Johnson gets there, but not enough. Tony Stewart wins at Martinsville. With his 4th win in 8 tries in his bid for the championship, Tony Stewart takes the checkered flag at Texas.
Man, this
you
was
would
such
think
a
that
fun
4
run.
wins in 8 races would be enough to put him out front for good, but still a hair ahead in the points was Carl Edwards. He had only won 1 race 8 months prior, but was so consistent in the time since.
I
that
fucking
was
miss
all
Carl
he needed.
Edwards, man.
2 races remaining.
He was
still
such a
held
goat.
tight gap over the 14. But Tony vowed
He better be worried, that's all I gotta say. He ain't gonna have an easy 3 weeks.
in the penultimate race, he did just enough to keep within striking distance for the season finale in Homestead. And with that, the stage was set. 3 points between 2 drivers and 1 race to settle it all.
Stewart 3 wide in turn 1 on the first lap.
Stewart has hit something and it has put a big hole in the front of the grill.
Tony got trapped too going out of pit road there.
Deep breath, guys. We come from a lot further back than that.
Tony Stewart trying to pick his way through some of the traffic. Stewart on a line, quickly on the move. In
God, those cars in 2011 were beautiful, man. Look at those cars, man. They were gorgeous back then.
It's just the most incredible run I've ever seen out of a race car driver, what Tony Stewart has done.
He's going to become a 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. Tony Stewart wins it.
Through pure grit and grind and the best performance of his whole career, Tony Stewart outran Edwards just enough to win the race and the tiebreaker with 5 victories in 10 races.
Damn,
Despite
man.
all of the doubt, he did it, and in the most dramatic of ways took home his 3rd Cup Series
The
championship.
only championship in
sweetest
NASCAR
of all,
history to be
driving his
determined
own
by
car,
a
his
tiebreaker.
own team.
By
If
the
this doesn't
way.
go down as one of the greatest championship battles in history, I don't know what will.
Amen.
The formula, his title defense didn't go so well, as the 2012 season consisted of just 3 victories, a throwing of the helmet at who else but Matt Kenseth, and
True.
a flip over the field at Talladega.
Yep.
If we haven't crashed at least 50% of the field by the end of the race, we need to extend the race till we at least crash 50% of the cars.
Then, in 2013, he once again regressed with just 1 victory, a post-race scuffle with who else but Kurt Busch, and a nasty sprint car crash that broke
Ugh.
his leg and took him out for the latter half of the
Yeah,
season.
and this is where it gets
Younger
really
Smoke
bad.
would have been incensed at the idea of having to sit out for so long. But
There's a
42-year-old
tiebreak in the
3-time champ Tony Stewart was surprisingly chipper.
But I guess I just look at it as it's just
There's a tiebreaker to the 2007 Piston Cup. He did what in his cup?
a bump in the road.
Perhaps 15 years and 48 wins finally satiated his drive for victory. Now all that was left to do was enjoy the twilight of his career. But sadly, the following season, he would get caught in another sprint car wreck, and the effect of this one was everlasting.
Saturday night, 3-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart hit and killed Kevin Ward Jr.
The crash killed a 20-year-old man who was walking on the track.
Corned beef, I don't think you could have picked a worse fucking time for that redeem. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, dude? Oh, give you your points back. You got it, buddy. Time? I don't know about that, man. You didn't even see that? Bro, someone fucking died and he fucking redeems that. Are you joking? Oh my god, bro. I can't even fucking refund you. I don't know how to do that. Here you go. There you go. There's your points back, buddy boy. Oh my fucking god. Jesus, man. Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way that's when you fucking hit the redeem, man. There's no way that's when you hit the redeem. Oh my god, you fucking, are you joking? Oh my god. How long ago was this? This was 2014. This was 12 years ago. Oh my god. This was a fucking turning point in his fucking legacy. Was this accident and you fucking hit the Tato redeem now? Jesus Christ, man. Are you kidding? Oh my god. Oh, this is like such an important thing to come back from. Oh my god, man. Jesus Lord. Jesus Christ.
Driver was then taken to the hospital by ambulance where he was pronounced dead.
With that being said, we feel that as a group, Tony will not drive today.
In working with law enforcement and through his own grief, Stewart sat out for 3 races in the 2014 season, and even after coming back, didn't seem like himself. It had been a long time
that
since the
took a mental toll on him.
Confronted him directly, but no matter what might have happened on that fateful night in New York, it was a needless and.
I don't have anything left in my drink. Hold on. That one. I cannot hear very well. Did he get charged with manslaughter? No, it was literally just like an on-race or on-track incident. It's literally like, it was quite literally an accident. Like, Kevin Ward probably shouldn't have been out that far. Tony Stewart probably shouldn't have been very close, but it was just like unfortunate circumstance of both. No fault done. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, nothing. When they did like the investigation, it was quite literally just like an unfortunate accident, but it was clearly enough to affect Stewart because he was not the same NASCAR driver after this, and understandably so.
Tragic loss of life.
I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that. It's you can't replace a life.
The one bright spot of the year was his new driver,
like the
Kevin
legalities.
Harvick, winning the team its second
I would
Cup
love to
championship. But for Tony, it
discuss
was
this.
the first season in
That'd
NASCAR
be cool.
he went completely winless.
Yeah.
And the following year wasn't much better. Despite running in all 36 races in the 2015 season, he didn't win, didn't even get a top 5, and finished lower in the points than Danica Patrick. And to top it all off, he would suffer another injury in the offseason that would take him out for the first 8 races of 2016, the year he had already declared would be his last. He'd be forgiven for quietly riding off into the sunset like so many before him.
Damn.
He had nothing left to prove, nothing left to lose. If this was how it ended, we'd all understand.
Smoke is loving this.
This is working out great for Tony Stewart.
Look at that lead Tony's pulled out there, boys. That's pretty
He's
impressive.
battling back there is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And the white flag waves. 1 to go.
Try to dive you down here.
Oh, he's wheel hopping. He's going to hit him.
Hamlin is there.
He hit him.
Hey, got him. Oh, no.
Get him back.
Hey, this thing's not over, guys. Watch
Might have been
the
the
turn 11 in this heavy braking zone.
Stewart inside. He is there. He gets hit.
Yeah, man. One more, Stewart. One last win, baby. Yeah.
With one last hurrah in the most Tony Stewart way possible, Smoke would close out his career reminding everyone who he was. A winner, a racer, a champion, one unlike any the sport had ever seen. The kind that didn't just face adversity, but rose above it. The kind that paid no mind to the narratives or the odds. The kind that would befriend or even hire some of his biggest rivals. The kind that, despite living in a corporate world, always spoke his mind, sometimes for better and sometimes for worse.
Ticks me off that I gotta sit here and go through this crap.
It's not a national holiday, guys. I don't sit there and think of that petty crap that you think of.
You didn't have to agree with him, you didn't have to like him, and trust me, most people didn't. But in the end, two things you could never deny were his talent behind the wheel and his adoration for racing. All of this wasn't even to mention his success in the O'Reilly series, including a record-tying 7 wins in the season opener, or the hundreds of wins in sprints, midgets, late models, basically anything with 4 wheels, or the fact that he's the only driver to complete all 1,100 miles of both the Indy 500 and Coke 600 in the same day, or even his new passion, drag racing, as he now competes for his own team in the NHRA Top Fuel series. And surprise, he's a contender there too. You can talk about Larson, you can talk about Verstappen, there are certainly cases to be made, but in my opinion, there's not a single more versatile race car driver on the planet than Tony Stewart. Everything he has ever driven, he's mastered, and as the natural evolution of competition continues, he may prove to be the last of a dying breed, the man who can drive anything. Be it from the squealing tires of a midget car, the overheated motor of an open wheeler, the shredded rubber of a stock car, or the explosion of a top fuel dragster, Smoke always rises.
Where do you want to go race now? Everywhere. Eventually, we're going to do it all.
I fucking love Tony Stewart, man. I wouldn't love NASCAR without him. I got emotional, man. Tony Stewart was my guy back in the day, dude. I'm getting fucking emotional over my fucking childhood driver. Fuck. Oh, I fucking love this guy. Oh, fuck. Without Tony Stewart, there would be no there'd be no love that I have for NASCAR, and without no love for NASCAR, there'd be no Len Meringue. So fuck, I'm fucking crying over a fucking NASCAR video, dude. What the hell? What's wrong with me? Fuck. Man. Tony Stewart, I couldn't have asked for it to root for a better driver. Yeah, I could have rooted for Jimmy Johnson, who won 6 titles in my lifetime. I could have rooted for Jeff Gordon, who was one of the best drivers of all time, or I could have rooted for Tony Stewart, who was just the man he was and unapologetically was himself. And I'm glad I got the third option, because without him, I would not have loved the sport as much as I do. I shouldn't be crying over a fucking NASCAR driver. The fuck? It's cringe. Why am I crying over fucking storylines? It's a nostalgia. It is. I mean, it really is. Reminds me of a wrestler named Scott Hall. He shot someone in self-defense. 25 became all the other side. Why do I recognize the name Scott Hall? I didn't watch wrestling growing up, but why do I recognize his name, Scott Hall? It's a nostalgia. Yeah, the nostalgia does get me a little bit. I mean, he is my childhood racer, and then like seeing him compete, not only compete, but like compete for championships in NHRA. It's like, you know, this is my guy. I still love him in every sport he'll compete in. It was just like I wish he had a better send-off in Cup, but honestly, that last win he got at Sonoma was probably the best he could have gotten out of everything. And just like proving himself to, even in the twilight of his career, still be one of the best road racers that Cup had at the time. It was fairly fitting. Oh, fuck. I'm getting all fucking emotional. That's so cringe. How cringe. How cringe. Excuse me. I will try to get over being all emotional. I'm going to hit a BRB screen so I can go pee-pee real quick. And then we'll start the Wendigoon video, okay? And then I'll hit hit the music. Oh, pull it up, Jamie. What? There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. We're all watching some Wendigooners today, baby. We're gooning it today, baby. The massive heist you've never heard of. The Sand Mafia. From Wendigang. Hello, Wendigang. Hello. Oh, also, hello, everyone. Welcome back from me running to the bathroom. What are you putting to your mouth? What, pause? What angry eyebrows? What? What the fuck? Oh, you gotta talk about college. College! Education! Cringe! Len, did I ever go to school? What school? I was raised in the wild.
1st, 2010, the roadway connecting Singapore to southern Malaysia
Singapore
was jammed with cars and trucks. While it's usually a hotbed for traffic, this day was particularly bad.
Uh-oh, what's wrong,
37
Wendigoon?
trucks on the Malaysian side were left abandoned after their drivers inexplicably just walked away. Customs were only a few yards from the trucks, and upon investigation, they found these trucks were filled with contraband. Most
Lemons
people
don't go to
would
school.
think that
True!
dangerous
Hi,
or
Poco.
linked to crime. No, customs didn't find
Thanks for
drugs
pissing
or undocumented migrant.
You guys didn't actually hear me go to the bathroom, did you? You guys didn't actually hear me go to the bathroom, did you? No? Okay, thank you. Thank fucking... I was actually fucking scared for a second.
Or diamonds, they found sand. Yes, the stuff that gets all over your car floor after a day at the beach.
Sand.
The same sand that you used
That
to
The
build
Sims?
castles and trenches with and dig holes as a kid. You know, it's coarse,
Alcoholic
grainy, and gets
cat
everywhere.
twink goes
But how
to
did
pee. You
sand
better
become
give me a
fundamental factor of
5%
power in Southeast
cut.
Asia, and specifically in Singapore? The short answer is because it's a valuable commodity for construction. But in this video, we'll examine
Excuse
how
me.
one country's economic survival became so reliant on a multi-billion-dollar trade in imported sand, as well as the black
never
market
liked
this
sand.
need created.
Absolutely
all
knife
run
slid
by
into my
corrupt
DMs.
sand
Nice has
mafia.
been trying to
It's
get
a
me to
story
piss
about a
into the
nation's
microphone
insatiable
for way
appetite
too
for
long.
expansion and the consequences that came
Don't
along
know about
with
that
it.
one.
Before we get into the Sand Mafia, let's start at the beginning.
Why is
with
sand-
Singapore?
I don't know.
But before we start with Singapore, let me start by saying hello, everybody, and welcome to the story of the Singapore Sand Mafia. This is a crime ring that I guarantee most people in the Western world have never heard of or never even
You are
thought
correct.
could happen. But anywhere in the world that something's valuable, getting your hands on it illegitimately will be a valuable business.
Hey,
So
yo.
we're going to talk about why
What's
sand
up?
became so important, why there's a crime ring around it.
Please teach
and
me,
a lot of the stories involved in
Sensei.
that. So if international smuggling sounds fun to you,
Smugglers!
stick around after the ad as we talk about the Sand
Smuggalana.
Mafia. But you know it's another resource that there's only a limited supply of?
What's that?
That's right, your health. Taking
My
care of
health?
yourself is even easier thanks to today's sponsor, AG1.
AG1,
is
that's
one-stop shop for
crazy.
many of your body support needs like multivitamins, multiminerals, pre and probiotics, so you can make taking care of yourself easier than ever. And by easy, I
Than
really do mean
ever?
easy, because all you need is 8 to 12 ounces of water and a spoonful of AG1, and you're good to go. And supporting things like the health of your immune
He's jorking it.
system, your gut, and your brain is certainly something you don't want to.
I've
skip
never
out on.
once taken care of
AG1's
my
been a huge
brain,
help to me
Mr.
because
Goon.
I'm
I'm sorry to
like
tell you
many of
this.
You that watch YouTube a lot, no offense.
Oh.
As someone that makes YouTube videos, my diet is not what it should be. Cold pizza and noodles can only get you so far. But
Listen, the
do
pizza's
things
good.
like
That
be
I
more
thought that was a
regular
fucking.
and not be as tired throughout the day.
I thought
It's
that
not
was a
like
fucking
AG1's
crack
some
pipe for a
super
second.
cure or miracle drug. It's just putting the things into your body that your body's been missing out on. So you can start
Listen to go
closing
through
your
something way
nutrient
too
gaps
fast.
and opening up space in your cabinet starting today, because AG1's here with an exclusive offer. That's because if you head to the link in the description at
this is what I do, and if I do-
drinkag1.com/WendyGang,
What?
along with your order, you'll get an AG1
Did I miss
flavor
some- wait, what
sampler
the
that
fuck?
includes
What?
things like their citrus, tropical, and berry flavors, as well as a bottle of vitamin D3 and K2 and their welcome kit. that includes things like a shaker bottle and a metal canister to store your AG1 in. So to get in on this $72 of included value, head to the link in the description at drinkag1.com/WenDaGang.
Thank you, WenDaGang
Thank you to
AG1
for sponsoring the channel. Their link will be in the description, and we are now back to the video. We are going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
So, like I said before, let's start with Singapore.
Singapore.
This small,
Oh, it
prosperous island
rhymed.
Country is composed of one main island and 63 satellite islands and inlets.
Serangoon? What the fuck are they doing in Serangoon, buddy?
Territories, Singapore has a history of being controlled by foreign powers. In the early 1800s, the British Empire established Singapore as a trading post, and in 1867, it was officially under direct British control. During World War II, Singapore was controlled by Japan for a short period before returning to Britain in 1945. Then, in 1963, the country was briefly part of Malaysia's new federation.
Wouldn't you like to know the weather,
But
boy?
after
Why
2
wouldn't you
years,
like to know,
racial
fucking egg
tensions and
woman?
Economic disputes between the two parties led to Singapore's independence as a sovereign country. Since its split from Malaysia in 1965, Singapore has become one of the world's wealthiest countries.
Whoa. Does it really look like that? What the fuck? That's so fucking
unmatched living
colorful.
standards in Southeast Asia.
I guess I
The
haven't
1980s
seen
saw a
many
massive
pictures of
economic boom in
Singapore.
Singapore, specifically in the services industry. The country has also become renowned for its ability to process silicon for microchips and electronics, but it's chiefly prized for its regional position within Asia. Singapore has become the continent's
Regional
premier
position
business,
in
financial,
Asia.
and shipping hub, a place that connects industrial leaders and business executives in the Pacific. In May of 2010, Global Witness, an international organization
I
that
be globaling
investigates
my
environmental
witness.
and human rights abuses, released a report stating that Singapore's GDP per capita was $50,000.
GDP
US
is
dollars,
knives
which made it
the
among the richest
penis.
nations in the world. This stat is notable because, in terms of land mass, Singapore is extremely poor. To put it in a context, Singapore is 3.5 times the size of Washington, D.C. That's
Oh.
right, only 3.5 DCs, but with nearly 8 times as many inhabitants. With a
Stop.
population of over 6
No,
million
baby.
people, the country today needs to expand its size to accommodate housing and industrial growth. You might assume that the need for more size within a tiny footprint would require building vertically, but in fact, Singapore today
building
is
out
largely
wide.
flat. Throughout the 60s, the country leveled its hills for land reclamation, which is the
Okay.
process of creating new land from oceans, seas, or rivers and lake beds. One of the key
Oh,
resources
I'm starting to
needed in
pick up
land
on why they have a
reclamation
sand
is
mafia.
sand. After Singapore exhausted all of its soil and dirt from its own hills for expansion, the country eventually switched to importing sand from other countries.
I never liked
And with
sand.
that information,
It's
you can
rough.
probably see where this is
Course.
going. Since the
That's
1960s,
everywhere.
Singapore has increased its land area horizontally by
That's
an
actually
astonishing
crazy to import that
24%,
much sand.
from 581.5 square kilometers.
Got that
to
reference? Thank you, Texan.
732.2 square kilometers. That's incredible when you think about it. Imagine any country adding a quarter of its size to its own. According to its government, Singapore will increase its land area by an
And you
additional
can add a
100
quarter
square
to the
kilometers by
1.0 goal
This
if
means
you
that
donate right
in
now.
less than a decade, the island will be a full 30% larger than its original size. And sand
Is that Giannis
is
Antetokounmpo?
all-
What the
sand
fuck?
is the second most extracted material in the world behind water. And even if you don't live near
Really?
a beach, you're likely surrounded by it. Office buildings, sidewalks, bridges, and shopping malls are made with concrete, which is made by sand
Oh,
and gravel
gosh.
mixed together with cement. Not only is sand essential
Cement.
for brick, asphalt, and concrete, but it's also used in products ranging from toothpaste to computer chips. That's right. Ever wonder what that minty feeling on your teeth is after you get done brushing your teeth? You're welcome. Suffice to say, sand is one of the most consumed resources on the planet.
Hold the fuck on. There's no fucking way. Hold on. Hold on, Mr. fucking Isaiah, if that is your real name. Is toothpaste made of sand? Hydrated silica, which is a purified mineral goat. Modern toothpaste is not made of raw sand, but it contains hydrated silica, which is a purified material derived from What the fuck? Seriously? Oh. Okay, bro. Go off, King.
With
Sorry
some
for doubting
people
you.
calling its high demand the new gold rush, or at least, global news called it that, which is some people. Others call it the currency of development. It's an overlooked ingredient that makes modern life possible, but we don't.
Not that surprising. The only thing that's surprising is that people will still continue to insist that mint ice cream tastes like mint toothpaste.
Because unlike water, we don't buy it as individuals. Even though if you're in a building or on a road right now, you're benefiting from sand, unless you're building a sandbox for your kids, you probably don't think about getting it. But getting it goes a long way for all of us. And unfortunately, we're starting to run out. The process of erosion that creates sand takes thousands of years, and we're currently mining it at a rate faster than its renewal. China and India, both of which rely on their own national supply, are consuming the resource at alarming levels. Just to put China's economic growth and demand for sand, or sand demand, into perspective,
sand demand.
From 2011 to 2013,
and ice cream nasty.
The country used
knives. We gotta have a talk. What do you mean mint ice cream is nasty? Share it with the class. Come on. Mint ice cream terrible. Corned beef. Come on. Come forth with your arguments and let me prove you wrong. Because mint ice cream is delicious. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't want to taste toothpaste. I assume you don't brush your teeth because toothpaste does not taste anything like mint ice cream. I like mint chocolate chip. Texan, you have a correct opinion. Mint chocolate chip is delicious. Can't stand the smell of mint everything. Sorry, you don't like clean teeth and or delicious desserts. I'm going to assume neither of you clean your teeth, nor enjoy good dessert.
Than the United States used in the entire 20th century. That is
more C, man. So buy toothbrush that's non-minty.
Think about from 1900 to 1999, how much cement
I do twice. What does do twice mean? Is that the idol group?
Was used in the United States, and realized that China used more than that in 3 years.
Yep.
While sand mining is mostly associated with developing countries whose need for expansion outweighs environmental consequences, the United States is an exception.
I have thoughts on that, but no one cares about them.
Last beach mines closed in Monterey, California, when scientists discovered
California, nuke it.
Quote, taken so much sand
that
off
was
the
reaction.
shoreline that it caused significant erosion nearby. In fact, the physical wear was so damaging that a former World War II era officers club was demolished because it was about to.
Okay, toothpaste eater. Sorry that you have never once brushed your teeth and you assume that mint is a taste of toothpaste and toothpaste or mint ice cream is the same fucking taste. I'm sorry you've never brushed your teeth once.
See from its
if anyone ever says that mint ice cream is the same taste as toothpaste, I assume that your teeth are stereotypical like British teeth. Not stereotypical as in like a British person, but like in a cartoon when they're like, "Oi, bruv, these are my teeth." And it's like the fucking yellow as shit. Some people like some stuff like that. Texan, stop being the resident normie. I need to berate people. This is my character. Mint ice cream is good in my opinion, but I don't like mint toothpaste. Well, Narissa, you're a darling, and you can never do any wrong in my eyes, so it doesn't matter.
Deteriorating cliff. In Houston, Texas,
I just have to. Houston, Texas? Uh-oh. The smell pisses me off. Mods. Every smell she can ever sense for the rest of her life, make it mint flavored.
To stop a sand mine on the banks of the San Jacinto River, as it's alleged to have caused sedimentation, a process which affects water quality.
You piss me off? I hope I piss you off.
Flooding. When Hurricane Harvey struck the Houston area in 2017, sediment blocked and backed up drainage ditches as floodwaters pushed them downstream. Essentially, these sand mines exacerbated flooding along the San Jacinto River in ways that didn't occur in other areas of Houston. But despite the bans, illegal sand mining still occurs in the United States and elsewhere. You might be asking yourself, why not just use sand from somewhere like the Sahara Desert. Well, aside from logistical and ecological issues, desert sand grains are too round from wind erosion to be
What?
able to stick together for construction purposes.
Oh,
Angular
okay. Never
grains,
mind.
which
That
are
makes
from
sense.
sand found in rivers and oceans, interlock and hold concrete together. So, other than
Okay.
the fact that it's really far away and would be really, really expensive to harvest and move,
I didn't know
we can't
that.
use it
Okay,
once it
fair
gets here.
enough.
As for Singapore's land reclamation projects, 3.75 million cubic meters of sand are needed to reclaim 1 square kilometer of land from the sea. That's the equivalent of 3.5 Empire State Buildings filled with sand just for 1 square kilometer. I mean, you've been to the beach, you've dumped a handful of sand in the water, it didn't immediately become permanent land. Think of how many handfuls you'd need for it to become permanent land. Singapore uses both.
You know
sea
what? You've
and
got a
river
point,
sand.
Mr.
Sea
Goon.
sand is
I
dumped
apologize. I
into
was
the ocean as
unfamiliar
filler,
with such
while
measurements.
River sand, which has a finer grain, is used for concrete. With so much expansion, it's no surprise that Singapore ran out of its own sand supply decades ago. This is what fueled the massive sand trade industry. In 2008, according to the country's own figures, which is a crucial detail we'll talk about later, Singapore imported more than $273 million worth of sand. And while that sounds like a lot, that's according to the country's own figures. These numbers only account for the legal trade. For a country by the book policies, like harsh penalties for littering or chewing gum, a highly efficient governance, and its rule of law, it came as a shock to the
You
world
found
to
Mint
find
Satan
out
have a
that
reaction to?
as Singapore entered the 2010s,
Smack the people voices come out.
illegal
What?
sand excavations were actually traced to Singaporean companies. When it
I'm
came out that these
Singaporeing my
companies
company
were
right now?
responsible for illegal excavation, it led to a lot of questions. How much did officials truly know about these imports? Or did they collude with these companies themselves, knowing how lucrative this enterprise could be? But most importantly, where did Singapore sand even come from? Well, the first place you asked to
Singapore
borrow
sand.
sugar from
The double
is your
S,
neighbor,
baby.
right? And Singapore's neighbor, Malaysia, was the first place to look for sand. Malaysia was the main supplier of Singapore's
What the fuck
imported
is
sand
Where is
until
that? That's a beautiful
1997,
fucking city.
when the
I didn't
then
know
Prime
about that
Minister,
shit. What the fuck?
Mahathir Mohamad
Hello,
imposed
sir.
a sand export ban from Malaysia to Singapore. Unfortunately, the ban was minimally effective and, for most of the 2000s, a complete illusion. To prove this,
What?
just
What do you
take
mean
the
a
official
complete
figures
illusion?
from the United Nations Comtrade database. Given that the trade was illegal, this database has the best approximation available. With both countries reporting to the United Nations in 2008, Singapore declared 3 million tons of sand were imported from Malaysia, while Malaysia declared 133 million tons of sand were exported to Singapore.
Export that shit,
Slight
motherfucker.
discrepancy. Malaysia said
Motherfucker.
133 million tons left, and Singapore said they only found 3. So I guess 130 million tons got lost driving over the border. And yes, this was 10 years after the export ban had been put into effect. So
Oh, no.
clearly, someone had something to hide. Corruption and a lack of oversight from the Malaysian government gave rise to what came to be known as the Sand Mafia.
The
Illegal
Sand
mines and
Mafia.
smuggling networks across Southeast Asia. The term mafia is used.
So
in
if
this
I just like
context to
start
reflect the
stealing
fact that this is an
sand
organized
from
crime
places,
ring
I can
abetted
also
by
get
corruption.
rich.
However, isolated petty smuggling does occur on various beaches, particularly in Africa. In other parts of the world, sand mafia has even more definitions.
Sand
For example, in
mafia.
India, media
Sand
reports use
mafia.
Sand mafia as a term to describe anyone, quote, threatening journalists, NGO workers, government officials, and community leaders who
Sand
oppose illicit
mafia.
extraction of sand from a given location. So in India, you'll hear sand mafia used as a term
Sand
to describe
mafia.
someone who is threatening those who are trying to slow down or stop the sand trade. In June of 2010, a Malaysian newspaper, The Star, investigated a Malaysian dredging company based on the Johor River. This is about 50 miles away from the Singapore Strait. The company claimed it was shipping extracted sand within Malaysia, which is how it got its transport license. The company's destination was from the Johor River to the major port at Tanjung Palay Pass, or simply PTP. The shortest route, conveniently,
It's a Grand
was
Theft
through
Auto map,
Singaporean
brother.
waters. The company's barges sailed down the Malaysian-Singapore border, where they passed through customs, but they never made it to their final destination, PTP. Instead, they stopped at a Singaporean jetty where they unloaded their cargo using forged paperwork. The Star had estimated this route had been in use since 2007, and nearly 3 million cubic meters of river sand had netted the Sand Mafia a profit of about $77.8 million. I mean, the amount of sand they're moving is obviously large. It's not like
Why
you
am I
can
being
smuggle it
threatened?
in
Probably
on a
'cause you
jet.
deserve it.
But if you have fake cargo papers, you can just
If you
sail
don't
down to
deserve it,
Singapore and then
why would
pass
it
off
happen?
to another boat.
I
That
must
same
ask.
year, 34 people were arrested for a sex for sand scandal, in which Malaysian
What?
officials and businessmen were accused of
Hey, baby girl, you want to have sex for sand? What?
accepting bribes of cash and sexual favors from sex workers in exchange for dredging permits to authorize sand exports to Singapore. So seducing Malaysian officials to get more sand into Singapore. What a time to be alive. Singapore's response was basically restating its policy on imported sand. All suppliers were required to show a license to dredge sand at specific locations in the source countries, show survey reports, and a bill of loading. In turn, the Singaporean government would verify that the supplier's documentation was accurate. But this system was and is based on the assumption that the
sex
paperwork
faux
is honest
sand.
and legitimate, and more importantly, that the officials are reliable and trustworthy. Without those, these documents are merely pieces of paper. With corruption running rampant in Malaysia, this is often the case. I mean, Singapore is getting grilled for all of the illegal sand
my
that's coming
eyes.
into their country that they're
Stretch my
benefiting
neck.
off of.
Hold
And their
on,
response
wait,
is
hold
the
on. I'll
same
do the
as-
one that gets people excited. Hold on. Wait, what? Where the fuck? Why did I jump all the way here?
Speeches, particularly in Africa. In other River in ways that didn't occur in the cycle.
Sorry about that. No one
How
heard
much
that.
did officials truly know about these imports? Or did they collude with these companies themselves, knowing how lucrative this enterprise could be? But most importantly, where did Singapore sand even come from? Well, the first
Where
place
did
you
Singapore
ask to
sand?
borrow a cup of sugar from is your neighbor, right? And Singapore's neighbor, Malaysia, was the first place to look for sand.
Oh wait, we are way ahead of this, aren't we?
Shortest route from the
I don't remember where we were. Someone stop me.
Sand. Singapore's demand for it meant more than one country needed to serve as a supplier. So enter a second exporter, Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Consists of more than 17,000 islands. Those nearest to Singapore are only a few miles away. Many of these islands within Singapore's reach are practically uninhabited,
That'd
which
be all
Singapore
right.
has taken advantage of. Its dredging has wiped some of them completely off the map, like Nipah Island, which is located on the border between Singapore and Indonesia. In 2003, a local NGO, or non-governmental organization, reported that Nipah
Non-gooner organization.
quote, with only 3 to 4 palm trees visible to mark the island's location. The government had to go back and fill Nipah to save it, as it's an important factor in determining Indonesia's maritime border with Singapore. Sand dredging in
Singapore.
Indonesia for export started
Sinking in my pour, bro.
1979, when 3 companies were permitted
Best
to mine
after meal
sand,
dessert,
and by
go.
2001, more than 300
Lemon
companies were
meringue
operating
pie.
in waters off Indonesia's Riau province. That same year, a report from Down to Earth detailed that the illegal sand mining was, quote,
Coffee and
allegedly
tiramisu.
controlled
Good
by a
take.
cartel
Good
of
take.
3
Coffee and
Singaporean
tiramisu is a very
companies
good.
supplementing the legal operations
Is
to
very good.
supply
I do
sand
love some
to
coffee and
Singapore.
tiramisu.
People were so mad about this that later that year, a group of enraged locals took over a sand dredging ship in the Durian Strait. When a crew member opened fire, the villagers dispersed, but a 36-year-old
you're
man
opening
was killed in
fire?
the
What?
process. Indonesia's
Vanilla ice
numbers
cream.
show
Yeah,
that
vanilla
from
ice cream's always good over
1997
after
to
everything, I'd
2001,
say.
the country exported more than 100.
Like, you just have, like, some apple
tons of
pie
sand
and
to Singapore.
ice cream and you'd
But
be
like
chilling.
all official reports, it doesn't take into account illegal exporting on the black market. If there's an amount of sand that can be legally dredged and sold that year, they'll just hit that number and then conveniently find more somewhere else. Nudge, nudge.
What
It's
about,
more likely to be double
apple
what's officially
pie?
documented. In 2007, the
Apple pie
Indonesian
ice cream?
parliament
Maybe some
banned the
cheesecake?
export of sea sand, which,
No,
like Malaysia's
no.
ban,
Cherry
was ignored
cheesecake
by
would be
even
really
the
good after
Indonesian
dinner.
government. One of the
Because you could have
smugglers
cherry
used
cheesecake
was
after
relabeling the sea
Thanksgiving. And if
sand
you're going to have
as
that after
coastal
Thanksgiving
or
when you've eaten
land
so
sand
much,
to
it's
reclassify
pretty damn
their
good.
cargo.
Blueberry
In the
le-
government's defense, imagine being
Blueberry lemonade, you say? Lemonade? Lemons mentioned? Okay.
That customs agent who inspects the cargo and sees sand that is labeled coastal sand. And then being like, no, this is clearly sea sand. I can tell by the way that it is. And if you're wondering if anyone is noticing all this sand going missing, they have,
never like
because the
sand.
effects have been devastating. From 2005 to 2010, 24 more islands were believed to have disappeared as a result of sand extraction.
24?
Without regulations, these unguarded coasts are sitting ducks.
Fuck,
There are
24?
plenty of beaches to choose
Used
from.
to buy
Remote
blueberry
enough that
lemonade during
anyone can
lunch
park
when I was
loud
in college.
dredging equipment, work throughout
That's
the evening
delicious.
unbothered, go back to Singapore in a few short hours, and using forged paperwork, sell their sand. Seems like there's a pattern. After a ban is imposed in one country, another country ramps up sand dredging. Which brings us to Cambodia. Every month in Cambodia's Kakong province, nearly 900,000 tons of sand is dredged. In one calendar year, the total amount of sand from
One
that province
calendar
is worth,
year, baby.
quote, $250 million on the Singaporean market, according to Time magazine. However, according to a Cambodian government-sponsored website, only 40,000 to 60,000 tons of sand are extracted every month in Kakong. So, again, we have a pattern. Cambodia says that it's 40 to 60,000 tons, while when Time
Will that
looked
have
at
eliminated?
it's about 900,000.
When's
That's every
the
month.
Dracula
A
Flow
daily
stream?
report
I mean, you
from
can
Global
submit the
Witness
Dracula
targeted
Flow. I haven't
Cambodia
really
for
watched the
sand
Dracula
dredging
Flow before.
practices and fraudulent
So if you want to
accounts.
submit it
States
for
that
the
two Cambodian
You Laugh, You
senators
Lose
in
stream,
particular, both of whom
we
are
can
close to
watch some
Cambodia's
Dracula
Prime Minister,
Flow.
were key figures at the center of the
It's
country's
art.
sand
I haven't.
smuggling.
I don't.
The report
I don't
shed
know what
light
the
on
Dracula Flow
devastating
is.
effects
I
of
I know
dredging
of
in
it.
the
I don't.
country,
I've
and
never
how a
seen
small
it.
group of elites controlled the public and private sectors that sanctioned sand mining projects. After its publication, the report was denounced by both
Mr.
the
Goon,
Singapore
I'm going to
and
have to ask you to
Cambodian
pause for a
government.
second, Mr. Goon, because I have to pee in the worst fucking possible way. So I will be right back, and I will run some fucking art so you guys know run for 'em. I'll be right back. Excuse-moi, por favor. Olive-sized piss containment. Listen, I never once claimed to have a good bladder. Dracula Flow has 5 parts, each more hinged. We will... That would be really funny to have for the You Laugh, You Lose. Because if I can't contain myself for that, that's going to be 5 attempts to fucking make me laugh. If you can get them all in one video, that'd be amazing.
Damage to the local ecology is hard to ignor. When dredging sucks up sand, it increases
Sex!
something called turbidity. which measures water clarity by
37
how
minutes total.
particles,
Bet
silt,
we can do
clay,
that.
or microbes scatter light. In other words, it's a valuable tool to measure water quality.
That'll be next week. We'll
Even
get
when
it.
only temporary,
90 seconds,
can suffocate coral
beautiful.
reefs, disrupting fish
I could try to keep it together for 90 seconds, or maybe 40 minutes total, or maybe we break it up. We'll see. We'll see how I feel.
And interfere with natural
Send them all in
sedimentary
different
processes.
videos, okay?
Basically, to keep exporting sand to Singapore, Cambodia had to kill its rivers and destroy
What?
its rich marine life. Today, Kampot, a region that houses seagrass beds that provide
That's so
shelter
beautiful.
to dugongs, green turtles, Irrawaddy dolphins, and hairy-nosed otters,
Oh, dear.
which is one of the world's rarest mammals, is at risk of being completely wiped out due to dredging. When Paul
no.
Herber, the director of
Hi,
Marine
Paul Herber.
Conservation Cambodia, dove into the Srei Ombel River after ships had dredged the area, he was shocked to discover that in the 15 kilometers of river he traveled, quote, he saw exactly one fish and 2 shrimp. Even dredging at
What?
10 meters causes irreparable harm, killing off mangroves that provide a necessary ecosystem for fish to survive. And for local Cambodian fishermen who rely on these areas to provide for their families, they must find another way to survive. Local Cambodians were upset, as you can imagine.
I
In
could
February
imagine,
of
actually.
2010, they took matters into their own hands when the unanswered letters they sent to the Prime Minister proved pointless. After attempting to pressure their local provincial leaders, the angry residents had no choice. They destroyed the nearby dredging equipment after a collapsing riverbank threatened their village. ABC News reported
These
that a
fucking
Cambodian
riverbanks,
real
brothers.
estate tycoon and politician Lee Yong-fat was responsible for organizing dredging operations at 3 local estuaries. As of 2024, he serves as a senator, quote, with the ruling Cambodian People's Party and a member of the party's Central Committee. And once again, the cycle continues. When people in a country get upset because their country is selling a lot of sand to Singapore, 'cause,
Okay.
you know, that's their
Yeah.
sand, another country shows up next on the chart.
How could you sell
Just a
my
few hundred
sand,
kilometers
baby?
northwest of
How could you
Cambodia,
do this to
another
me?
country faces similar problems, all just to satiate Singapore's hunger for sand. Vietnam. Vietnam's sand mining, for the most part, is completely unregulated. Despite the country's officials' public statements calling for an end to the prohibited practice, in 2013, quote, 3 local government officials were charged with taking bribes in exchange for ignoring illegal sand mining on the Tian River. In fact, in 2016 alone, authorities caught nearly 3,000 people who were dredging without permits or in protected areas, which includes the Mekong Delta, keystone to the country's economic stability. Think about that. 3,000 people caught for the sand trade in 1 year in one country. When sand on the Mekong gets depleted, the low water levels threaten agriculture by reducing nutrient-dense sediment for soil. Fish habitats are also destroyed by sand mining, as well as local infrastructure due to erosion. Like most black market and criminal enterprises, many of these miners are regular people without better
Miners!
options to try to make a living. So they're willing to do whatever it
span
takes.
miners.
That desperation creates an environment ripe for tension. For example, in the spring of
MINERS.
2017, a countrywide crackdown caused a group of illegal sand miners to dump sand on a police boat.
Crackdown
and
in
sink it, which I do have to admit
2017?
is kind of funny and creative, if you know. Also,
Bugs
I think
on the-
directly from a Bugs
on the
Bunny
hedge
cartoon.
of
In addition to
Crackdown 3,
similar
get rid of
environmental
it.
impacts that affect Cambodia, Indonesia, and Malaysia, tensions between local Vietnamese fishers and sand miners have escalated. In June of 2017, a fight broke out between villagers and miners that put 2 people in the
Miners!
hospital. As we've
Miners!
seen, sand smuggling is a lawless business. under the
Miners!
guise of useless bans and media propaganda. But how far are these sand mafias willing to go? Unfortunately, for opposing parties who stand up to mining operations,
They just put that
risk
shit right in
violence,
the fucking
bloodshed,
ocean,
and
bro.
even
What the
murder.
fuck?
That doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. As the value of sand skyrockets, these mafias.
It's crazy to
increasingly
think about that.
drastic
The
measures
fucking
to ensure the success
value
their
of
smuggling.
sand
And nowhere are
skyrockets.
these groups more violent
And yet
or
you can, like,
deadly
go to
than
any
those
coast and
operating
just
in
get
Africa
sand.
and India. In
Or like you
2016,
just,
a
you know,
BBC
witness an
correspondent
endless amount of
researching
sand,
beach
but
erosion
like,
in
look at
Jamaica
this
was
shit.
shocked to learn from locals that nearby mafias
what the
of armed
fuck?
men would fight each other for smuggling dominance, much like street gangs or the Italian mob. The winning gang would haul away bags of sand in the middle of the night, where they
That's
sold them
insane
to
to
construction
think
crews on
about.
beachfront development sites.
There's so
In
much
2017,
fucking-
2 Kenyan truck drivers were burned beyond recognition
Whoa.
when a gang of locals attacked them as they were loading their vehicles at a nearby river. In Kenya's Makwani County, sand miners and locals battled for several years with, quote, bows and arrows, machete-like pangas, and Molotov cocktails.
What is a panga?
In China, dozens of rival
Pangas.
sand gang members were imprisoned after a massive knife battle took place in front of a police station. Is that not just such a crazy phrase? Rival sand gang members got into a knife battle?
That is a
In
wild
Indonesia,
sentence to
two
say.
farmers led protest against illegal sand dredging operations, and in response, the mine operators...
That's
threatened
wild. You're willing to
kill the
kill each
farmers
other
who
over
protest
sand.
Farmers
It just seems
reported
like such an
threats to the
abundant
police and asked
resource.
for protection, but soon met a grisly end. One of the farmers was attacked by several men, run over by a motorcycle, and left for dead. The other farmer was beaten
Left for
and
what?
stabbed to death. His body left out in the street with his hands tied behind his back.
And
In
he
India,
was left
hundreds
for
have been
dead
injured
too.
and dozens killed by sand mafias. Victims include an 81-year-old teacher and a 22-year-old activist who, quote, were separately hacked to death, a journalist who was burned to death, and at least 3 police officers who were run over by sand trucks. In 2018, Sandeep Sharma, a reporter with a local television station in India, was run over by a sand truck after he filmed a police officer accepting a bribe to keep quiet on a sand mining operation in a
Fair
crocodile
enough.
sanctuary.
Not fair enough, actually.
He survived, but when
Wait,
Sharma
wait, wait,
asked
wait,
for
wait.
protection from the authorities
Rewind. What did that say?
on a sand mining op truck after he filmed a police officer accepting a bribe to keep quiet on a sand mining operation in a crocodile sanctuary.
Oh, that's not
He
a
survived,
bribe.
But when Sharma
Okay.
asked for protection from the authorities, he was denied and forced to hand over the original recording to the police. Another victim, this time a special branch constable named Tamal Nadu, was murdered for collecting intelligence at an illegal sand mining site. In 2012, French documentarian Sophie Bontemps and her crew were arrested for filming a sand mining operation in the dunes of Morocco. Sophie
Coconut
was
Head.
interrogated and her equipment was confiscated by authorities. Later that evening, a military colonel and 2 other officials arranged a mock trial in a hotel where the crew members were forced to erase their footage. It was clear to the director that everyone, from local workers to national officials, were not only involved in sand trafficking, but profiting from it. In her film, Morocco, Raiding on the Sand, in which the erased
bye,
footage was
corned
restored
beef.
from off-site backups, the
Have a good
filmmakers
day.
had made, local
Bye-bye.
protesters were beaten and threatened.
Don't goon.
In June
Can't
of
promise you
2019,
anything, buddy.
Jose Luis Alvarez Flores, a Mexican environmental activist who protested illegal sand mining in a local river, was shot dead. When he was discovered,
What?
a note was also found that threatened Flores' family and other activists. The illegal sand trade has become extremely profitable in a short time, not just for those participating in the trade, but for the politicians protecting the operations. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it's even more so beneficial for them. And like any high-demand industry prohibited by the government, the result is a robust black market that moves geopolitics as much as it does money. After
Yes.
all, land is often one of the most influential and important assets to a global power. So what happens when one of the players can simply make more land? For a moment, let's
Money.
consider a larger, more powerful nation, China. Builders
Oh.
in the country call sand soft gold, the trade of which skyrocketed.
I
in the
can't believe
1980s
that
during
sand is
Shanghai's
this
construction
important.
boom.
Like, I feel like
China
there's so
dredged
much,
sand from the Yangtze
so
River
much
because
other
it was the
opportunity
ideal
out
for
there.
sand to cement. By 2000, sand extraction had gotten so extreme that long stretches of the riverbank collapsed. Same year, authorities banned sand mining on the Yangtze altogether, but the trade continued illegally. During the
Okay.
day, these ships look innocent enough, but at night, they would, quote, lower pipes to the riverbed to suck up thousands of tons of sand in a single session.
Thousands
In
of tons
2019,
of sand.
Police seized over 300 sand dredging ships and enough sand to fill over 1,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. A few years earlier, in the mid-2010s, when China was in full operation of its island enhancement program, the leaders of
Oh
the
my
other Southeast Asian
gosh.
nations
There's so
came
much
together to raise
enhancement on that
international
island.
concern
What
over
the
country's
fuck?
Great Wall of Sand in a vital area, the Spratly Islands. Located in the southern area of the South China Sea, the Spratly Islands are claimed by several nations: China, Taiwan, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam. The islands consist of over 100 islets and reefs spread over 240,000 kilometers of ocean. Most vitally, the value this region has for maritime trade is enormous.
Yeah, you're right on the ocean.
Over
Yeah,
50%
Australia.
of
Just from.
Australian trade
Hi, Nick.
passes
Welcome
through the South
back.
China Sea with, quote, $5 trillion
We're watching
of
some
trade
goon.
overall flowing through the region. These shipping sea lanes are not only important for trade in the region, but for food
Watching a
security as
video
well.
on the
Around
sand
10%
mafia.
of the world's fishing catch or harvest takes place in the South China Sea. China was originally left with smaller pieces of the Spratly Islands because it came late to the island occupation game. But through the sand trade, the country has been building
Video
and
from
expanding
down under.
its
No.
The
This
island
is
built
the.
is, quote,
This
an
is the
attractive
sand
option
mafia.
adds
It doesn't specifically go to Australia. There is just a lot of islands around the world that really want sand.
substance, literally, to China's physical presence among the
The
disputed
sand
islands
mafia.
of the
What do you
South
mean
China
the
Sea.
fucking what?
But it isn't just China. Singapore, which I'll remind you is the world's largest importer of sand, has seen similar geopolitical ramifications come from
Yeah.
the sand trade. Since most
There's a lot of
Singapore's
stuff.
reclaimed land
A
sits
lot
in
of
parts
sand
the ocean that once
imported
belonged
from
to the
Singapore.
Singapore Straits, separating it from Indonesia, the expansion demands new maritime boundaries every time new land is reclaimed. The consequences go beyond new lines drawn on a map or loss of livelihoods due to the disappearance of fishing grounds. The erasure of these islands changes the entire seabed's natural defense against floods and tidal waves. Residents who once lived in the coastal communities on Ubi Besar Island and Thousand Island,
Ubi
Jakarta,
Besar.
were forced to move after the island submerged underwater. As for Singapore's next
think
door
about.
neighbor, Malaysia,
It just-
every time Singapore's soil creeps into their waters, the country demands a reapportionment of territory and sea trade lanes between the two nations. But unlike the Spratly Islands dispute, which is regulated under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, Malaysia's is not. Singapore
Yeah.
can legally reclaim
China would be
sovereignty
blasted by
around
the
existing
existence of
islands,
Tatooine.
reefs, and
Honestly, they would,
So
because
Malaysia's
like
demand
they
for
are
newly
after
exported
sand.
territory holds no water.
And then Tatooine,
Holds no
they are
sand,
like,
guess.
I never
This
liked
sets a
sand.
highly dangerous
And
precedent.
there's so
Without
much sand they'd be
regulations,
willing to get
a
rid of
country's
it.
physical state can be eroded
Maybe
or
they wouldn't
expanded,
though, because
shifting the
there's like
paradigm of
he
territorial
mentioned that there
instead
like
of
a certain
war
amount
or
of sand
colonialism.
isn't good enough
Land
because it's too
reclamation
rounded.
allows what is essentially the legal growth
But it
of
would
a country's
depend.
territory through terraforming. Singapore isn't appropriating land by conquering nations. In order to become larger, it's creating it from the water by shrinking the land somewhere else. I mean, think about the ramifications of this. If you want more of a say in a local trade route, well, just expand your island out into the trade
Expand
route.
my
enough
island, baby
that you have to
girl.
make a new straight through, and that means other nations have to pay you a tax.
Yep.
Just push the land out far enough that you cover up a waterway. Now you have to be
Desert
paid
sand.
to make
Yeah,
the door
that's
through.
it. Thank you,
It might
Narissa.
seem
It's
odd
desert
that such a
sand is
small
too
country
rounded.
is playing this monumental of a global arms race for land, but when you consider its history, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
In
so
1890,
Tatooine wouldn't be
Sir
good enough.
Stanford Raffles, a British
Tatooine
official
used to
who
be a lush
colonized
planet. The original
Singapore,
aliens got enslaved,
wrote
rose
that
up, and the
its
enslavers just
potential as a
practically less
hub
planet.
for the East India
Yeah, but
Company was,
now
quote,
if they tried to
on which
if
empire
they
should
tried to
thrive,
get the
and
sand
thus
from
would begin
Tatooine, it would be
Singapore's
too
narrative.
rounded. They need
The island would primarily
squarular
function as a place
grains
for global
because then they
trade and
can
shipping. To
use
this
it for
day,
building
the country
blocks.
proudly markets itself to visitors as the world's gateway to Asia. Before
So,
British
hi, Narissa.
contact,
I
Singapore
know you're
was
still here.
mostly
Hi.
marshland. Its
Hi.
indigenous population made their livelihood by fishing the swamp for mud skippers.
Apologize.
But in 1822,
I've been trying to clear
during
my throat for the
Singapore's
last few days.
colonization, the country transformed from a fishing village to a port, which upended the natives' way of life and altered the environments by dredging mud from the marshes to lay the foundation for a
Minecraft
harbor.
sand is about
Someone else
true.
might have been doing it, but it was
Minecraft sand
Singapore's first
is
land
the perfect
reclamation
sand.
project.
This is
History has a way of
proving
repeating
that we
itself,
should
but the notable
play
difference
Minecraft.
is that the cost of Singapore's transformation today is the removal of its neighbor's land. The environmental degradation due to smuggling and its resulting sand war has
Smugglers.
strained ties between Singapore and
Remember,
the surrounding
guys.
nations. But the most tragic component of the whole operation,
Guys, may I just say tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary. So if you guys have any Len Meringue moments that you'd like to submit,
might be how Singapore's construction operates.
and for that,
through its
I
flow
would
of
need
foreign
to
labor.
get a
The
new
workers who
Minecraft
were
account
hired
because
for
the only
country's land
Minecraft account I
reclamation
have is a
projects
personal
are
one, and
often
I don't want to use that on
Cambodians,
stream.
Burmese, and Indonesians. Quote, The very same people whose communities live on or around disappearing islands and depleting marine life. These laborers are targets of predatory hiring practices, short-term jobs, low wages, and highly dangerous work. The tragic irony, of course, is that for every new Singaporean high-rise, these workers' homeland gets closer to extinction. The sand trade is systematic in the way that it
maximize
countries and the scale at which it
export,
all evidence
minimize
the illegal sand
internal
trade
benefit.
If for no other reason than the fact that the people who could stop it find it too important. Estimates of the sand war range, quote, from $200 billion to $350 billion per year, which is more than illegal logging, gold mining, and fishing combined. It's easy money for the sand mafia, as legal and illegal sand look exactly the same.
Legal
this
and
graph
illegal.
from
I mean,
2017
yeah, I
shows
mean,
that
it's
the
just
illegal
sand, isn't it?
extraction and
You could
trade
just sell
had
it
the
as
third
legal
highest value
sand.
transnational
Hey, Lynn,
crime
catch. I'm
based on
catching.
dollars.
I got my hands
Right
open. What's
behind
up?
Counterfeiting and drug trafficking. Sand mining is dangerous and physically exhausting work. Most of these areas have already been exploited by
My hands are up. What do you want me to catch?
So divers have to plunge deeper into the riverbeds.
What am I
to extract
catching?
goods. On these riverbeds, sand is scooped into buckets, which are pulled up by boatmen. And as a result, the risk of drowning is especially high.
Glutton is
The
Knives
danger
about
of
to
the
send me,
job
like, throw
demands
me a
that
fucking
sand
grenade of
miners
some
often
sort?
earn
What's
more
up?
than their average counterparts in their country, making it a valid career path despite
Thank you, Knives. I really appreciate the 10 gifted subs. How much is that? Hold on. Mods, how much is 10 gifted subs? Thank you, Knives. Wait, what? Fuck, not me. Well, I think we have Ace Combat made for this one. Wait, what? Get 25. Okay, well, hold on. I got it. Thank you very much, Knives. Appreciate that one. So we had $9 until the Ace Combat stream, right? How much is 10 gifted subs or 44.9? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for price wise. Does that mean we get the 30-day art challenge? I don't think it does, right? Well, you didn't just give me 50. It's $60, but you didn't just. No, there's no way you just got me to the 30-day art challenge, did you? There's no way you just got me to the 30-day art challenge, right? Correct? You did not just do that, right? Right? Correct? You didn't just. I'll take a screenshot. It's so fucking Jover if I have to do the fucking 30-day art challenge. Oh, this is gonna be a real. Oh no, laddie, this is gonna be a real bad one. Fuck, man. Well, there's a real chance we have a 30-day art challenge coming up, which means I'm gonna have to. $59 was drawing time. Oh, fuck me in the butt, bro. What the fuck do you mean? I'm gonna have to draw that? There's no way. I will do all the calculations tomorrow, but or after stream ends. But Jesus Lord, that means that we're gonna have to.
Barrier to entry. Some officials at the local.
That means I'm gonna have to draw 30 days straight. No, I don't have to draw right now. It's when I decide to start the challenge.
Due to the nature of their work, sand mining operators are usually armed. Rival sand mafias present their own threats, as well as
no,
those
not
who might
now,
attack
not
them,
now,
come from local
no.
farmers and even journalists who might expose their work. More often than not, as the scale of small-time sand dredging
Fuck.
increases, so does the likelihood.
You're gonna
for
fucking kill me, Knives. What the fuck? How could you do this to me?
We saw something similar happen in the world of illegal fishing off the coast of West Africa, when wildlife poaching drew criminal rings that eventually grew into illegal logging operations. If we use that framework for sand mining in Southeast Asia, the blueprint is already laid out. Weaker governments, easy entry to regional markets, and corrupt international corporations working together to create lucrative business opportunities.
Did you say rival sand mafias? Yes, he
by
did.
The reality that the demand for sand is unyielding.
The demand for sand, baby girl.
Particularly impervious to any legal action or punishment compared to the countries that sell its sand. In doing research for this video, it felt like most articles and media reports focused on the environmental and socio-economic effects of sand dredging in Malaysia.
Oh my god, I
Asia,
might actually have
Cambodia,
to do a 30-day
Singapore's
art challenge
response
and an
deserves
Ace
scrutiny as
Combat
well.
stream.
In 2010,
Fuck
Singapore's government was
me.
asked by Global Witness what its role was in the sand imports. The government said, quote, "The import
Love
of
y'all. Be
sand to
going.
Singapore
Goodbye,
is done on a
Nick.
commercial basis. The
Bye,
Singapore
Nick.
government is not a party to any agreement
Thanks for hanging
or
around a little
contract
bit.
for the import of sand, essentially claiming plausible deniability by saying, hey, we've got nothing to do with it, and if it is happening, I haven't heard about it. However, this statement contradicts the discussions the government had in Parliament.
Fuck,
when
man.
the need to stockpile
This sucks.
construction
I'm gonna have to
materials was
draw
brought
30
up
days
so countries' domestic
straight.
markets would hold stable,
I barely
should
draw
stock
30
certain
weeks
supply
straight.
chain,
What the
or
fuck?
disrupted trade routes due to potential geopolitical
Oh,
tensions.
man.
One official said that the government would help contractors by, quote, co-sharing up to 75%.
Go
of
now.
the
This is
price
almost midnight. Good night,
increases
Len.
in
Bye,
sand and
Narissa.
grain.
Good
This offer to
night.
share a
Love you,
portion of the
girly.
cost with contractors directly disputes the Singaporean government's original statement of saying it doesn't purchase any sand itself. It's the government going from saying they're not buying any sand, it's all private businesses, to, well, we know sand's coming in, so we'll help you pay for it. Another contradiction was found by Global Witness when a
Big
government
guys, have a
website
good
showed tenders
night.
that were issued by the Housing and
Once this
Development
video's over,
Board
this will
for
probably
the
be on the
acquisition
stream,
of
but
sand
tomorrow.
for various development
Tomorrow
projects.
is
In other
the
words, more
favorite
evidence of the
Len
government
stream.
knowing of sand coming in, despite saying
So I hope you guys
But
have
the
some
biggest
favorite Len
contradiction
moments
Singapore's
submitted.
claim they have no involvement in the import of sand was discovered in a contract from JTC,
Bye,
the country's
Nick.
government
Bye,
agency under the
Narissa.
Ministry of Trade and Industry. Global Witness says this contract was explicitly for the purchase of sand by JTC from an importing company. Global Witness even found that some of the sand dredging licenses from Cambodia had the stamp of a Singaporean official. Singapore then, it would seem, considers its government boards to be separate entities from the government. Or at least that might be how they justify their position. By
That's how
avoiding
they
multiple
justify
layers of
their
contractors,
wages.
Singapore is
That's
able to
their
find its own
business.
responsibility and role in the corruption of other Southeast Asian countries. Basically, I'm not doing the crime, I just have a guy that does the crime for me. But it's
That's
not
pretty
me,
fair, honestly.
So I don't know about it. Allegedly, I guess. Can Singapore sue me? Probably. Yeah. Allegedly. It's a system
Allegedly.
that keeps Singapore from legal recourse and liability. And despite the country's claims that appropriate policies are in place to ensure ethical sand mining, there's very little regulation in the regional and international legal context. In fact, an intergovernmental
The
organization
legal
called
context.
ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, promotes non-intervention in business relations among ASEAN states. In other words, the bodies that would regulate these kind of things are just going to let the nations figure it out. I'm sure
Ethical sand mining, yeah.
very little
Ethical sand mining in a video
outlining the
about
terms and conditions
sand
these
mining
states
mafia.
agree to when operating sand mining projects. The public
Easy
must
peasy.
trust the word from Singapore's officials
Isn't that
who,
over here?
when asked, just
worry
maintain
about it.
sand
Don't
mining
think
from
about
the
it.
country's
It's okay.
neighbors is done sustainably. In 2021, when the Minister of National Development was asked if environmental studies about Singapore's sustainable mining practices could be made public, they responded that the studies, which guide the planning of land reclamation to mitigate environmental
Sure, you
impact,
retweeted.
were
I was about to send
confidential
you.
due to, quote, overriding
Again,
security
'cause-
considerations. That's right. They were asked
Fuck,
to
what was
show
the
their
one?
work
Oh, it was the
that
Excel sheet.
they
Or the
say
Excel sheet,
is
right?
the reason they are able to sustainably mine for sand. They said we can't show you that.
Is
work
Wendigoon
because
balding? Or is that
security
just his hair right now?
concerns or something? Hey, is that the piece of paper that explains how this mining stuff is ethical and definitely not a bad thing? Oh, well, yes, it is. Can I see it? No. What the minister failed to mention was exactly
On my
what
18
these
plus
standards
hold up,
were and
mods.
what
Pull it
constitutes
up.
the overriding security considerations, as environmental standards are not publicly released. Singapore's biggest hypocrisy, however, is that it calls itself a, quote, leader in the region for sustainable
Yeah, the
development.
Excel sheet.
Despite the negative impacts
Isn't
the
it?
country's demand for sand has caused to its nation.
Oh, the body is a
I'm
machine
sure
that turns
they are
armpits into sniffed armpits.
Nothing else. Singapore's thirst for sand is now to the point where it looks beyond Southeast Asia. In addition to sand sources in the Philippines, Myanmar, and Bangladesh, it's reported to have set its sights on Australia.
I
and Papua New
retweeted a
Guinea.
shirt that
Written
says,
accounts
"My
suggest,
body is a
quote,
machine that turns
Singaporean
armpits into
company
sniffed
is working
armpits."
to get approval to mine
No,
50 kilometers
I
stretch
think
of
you're
beach
exactly
on the
where you
north
need to
coast of
be,
Madong.
Texan.
This stretch of
Don't you
coastline
worry,
is
you're a little
protected habitat
pretty
for
head.
endangered leatherback sea turtles. Unless major government regulation is implemented,
We all
Papua New Guinea is
freaks.
destined
Nah,
for a
I've
similar
sent the
fate
freak
to
emote.
Indonesia and Cambodia. As legal, above-board sand mining operations look to expand globally, is it even possible to stop these sand mafias that follow? Only time will tell. But we're betting that the answer will be a
Thank you.
resounding no. I mean,
Thank
anytime
you.
someone wants to get something the legal way, someone is going to find a way to get it the illegal way. In recent years, Singapore has adjusted its sand importing strategies as a result of public criticism and scrutiny. The government announced plans to reduce dependence on imported sand and adopt a new reclamation method called empoldering. This involves, quote, building a
Empoldering.
dike around the area of the sea to be reclaimed, and then draining water from the area to create a patch of land that lies below sea level. Singapore also
Excuse me.
announced it would look
I
into
apologize
sand
about that.
substitutes, such as recycled materials for construction.
Uh,
Ideas like floating cities, which are being tested in Japan, are also something Singapore is
What the
considering
fuck?
and building technologies for.
Wait, what?
But its development plans are still focused on land growth. Perhaps if legalities won't stop the sand trade, advancements in technology will. 3 years
Okay.
ago, according to the Scientific American, quote, researchers from several universities demonstrated an optical system that can
Black Ops 2
fingerprint
floating
sand
city, let's
grains,
go.
allowing them to be traced back to their site of origin. This new technology would be used to help distinguish imported sand's origins from legal or illegal operations. This would at least make the illegal sand trade harder, as there
Hi,
would be a way to
Rico.
check it at
Hi,
customs.
Rico.
Other technologies include making desert sand usable for construction projects by putting an additive in it.
We're
to
almost
make it
at the
stronger.
end of this
While these
video.
announcements and technological advancements point towards a more sustainable future for Singapore sand demands, in 2024, Indonesia lifted its ban on sand exports and allowed sea sand dredging. The reason they dropped the rules after all this
Sea
time,
sand dressing.
Indonesian
He's got enough time
policymakers
for
went back to the sand
freeform
trade.
jazz.
Other countries looking to boost their GDP are likely to follow and lift their bans as well. As long as sand remains a foundational piece of Singapore's development, the incentive for smuggling also remains.
Yes.
The illegal sand trade and its accompanying sand mafia have already proven
Sand
difficult to control.
mafia,
Profit
sand
margins, corruption,
mafia.
and uneven governance contribute to its
Can I
thriving
get a
existence.
sand mafia
This black market is driven by
chat,
Singapore's need
please?
for sand and the rise of a multi-billion-dollar smuggling network. Adding
Yes.
in a lack of environmental oversight, Singapore's responsible for the shifting sands of coastlines, geopolitical tensions
crazy to think
between its
about that
neighboring regions,
a place like
healthy
Singapore
criminal
can
underground,
affect
and a trail of
the
sunken islands in
world
its wake. But it doesn't
round
just end with
like
Singapore.
this.
Not only is sand used for construction, but it is, quote, a key ingredient in the microprocessors and memory chips used in nearly all computer technology.
Holy shit.
Sand is the most wanted raw material on the planet, and Singapore's addiction is just a microcosm of a global issue. And
That's
while the
wild to
United
think
States
about.
has had a history of sand mining, there are more federal and state
That's in
agencies that help
California,
regulate it
which is
compared to
another reason why we
Southeast
should
Asia,
nuke that
India,
state
and
just to
Africa.
be safe.
The Sandman, a mythical character used
Mr.
in many children's
Sandman,
stories who brings
bring
sleep
me a
inducing sand
dream.
dreams, is now a
Thinking
nightmare.
the sweetest
It's a
that
reality
I've
bears
never
no
seen.
allegiance to any nation.
But
It's as
the
borderless
ba-
and
the
liquid as money,
ba-
shipped
da-
the highest bidder.
I
As we've seen
ba-
with
Mr.
Malaysia,
Santa
Indonesia,
hated
India,
by
and
the-
Vietnam, there is no more land, only more sand. And that is the story of Singapore's and a lot of the world's sand mafias. Again, so
Amen.
much
Thank
money
you,
being
Mr.
spent, so
Goon.
many lives being lost, and countries literally being reformed over something that most of us probably don't give a second glance to.
Yeah,
Sand.
probably not.
As with any other resource in the world,
pretty
if
wild
someone
to see
wants
that.
something, then someone else is willing to sell it, legal or otherwise. But all in all, I believe this to be a fascinating, if lesser known, international smuggling trade that hopefully you found interesting as well. And if you did, I think that's really cool, and we just want to say thank you for watching. One of
Yes.
the most interesting aspects of this
Thank
story
you,
to
Mr.
me
Goon. I
were those
appreciate
initial
that.
journalists who broke this story in the first place. Like, it's one thing to sit here behind a camera and talk about what other people have figured out. But to
Mhm.
be one of the first people who started to figure this out and then be like Sophie, the
Oh,
French
right.
documentarian who was captured and had all their footage deleted but managed to recover it and then put the story out. Those people are heroes, and work like that certainly deserves to be remembered. No matter how dark the world can be, there's always lights like that that are worth shining through. But hopefully you
We're
guys enjoyed this
rating.
topic. I
Yep.
certainly did.
At
And
the
everyone
end
who
of
made
this.
video possible will be credited in the
Thank you,
description.
Mr.
Be sure to show them
Gunn.
some
We're
appreciation.
rating out.
They did a fantastic job on this one. New videos here Mondays at noon.
Thank you,
Videos, as
Mr.
always,
Goon.
going up on the
Where's the
YouTube
raid
channel.
message? What is the raid
New
message,
videos going
everyone?
up like once or twice a week at this rate over on When to Glitch. Check those out if you're interested. New content.
What should we raid into? How should we raid into Malva's stream?
Thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
What is our raid message, everybody? We have approximately 36 seconds to figure it out.
Sand fingerprint system I talked about.
Yep. Len brings the pocket sand. Yes, thank you, Knives. Thank you, everybody. And tomorrow is our first anniversary. I will tweet about it. I will sing to the hills about it. Everybody, thank you for not only tonight, but thank you for a wonderful year of Len Meringue. I will see you tomorrow for our full first year anniversary. Thank you, everybody. I love you so much. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.